As FC Barcelona scrambled to rebuild their squad under the sharp eye of new boss Hansi Flick, fans had their hearts set on a big name for the left wing. Someone electric. Someone who could make the Camp Nou rise to its feet. One name stood out above the rest. Rafael Leão. But today we're here to tell you why that dream was killed. And not because of money or tactics, but attitude. Barcelona's summer 2025 has been anything but smooth sailing. After a rollercoaster 2024-25 campaign and the emotional high of beating Real Madrid 4-3 at the Bernabeu, all eyes turned to the transfer market. Fans wanted reinforcements. They wanted superstars. They wanted silverware. Sporting Director Deco was the man tasked with delivering. And his first target? Nico Williams. Young, dynamic, and Spanish. Everything Barcelona needed on the left wing. Negotiations with athletic clubs started early. Deco was confident. Laporta was optimistic. Hansi Flick was already imagining Nico in his tactical plans. But then boom. Nico Williams renewed with athletic club. A new contract. Higher wages. A release clause out of Barca's reach. Just like that, Barcelona were back to square one. And the chaos began. After Nico's renewal, the Blaugrana board scrambled to find alternatives. The left wing had become the club's top priority. One of the first names considered? Luis Díaz, the Colombian magician. Electric on the ball, deadly in transition. A player who could light up La Liga on his day. Diaz was reportedly open to the move. Sources close to the player say he dreamed of Barcelona. But dreams come at a cost. And Liverpool set theirs at €100 million. Deco backed off. Barcelona's financial situation, while improving, still didn't allow them to splash that kind of money without compromising elsewhere. Then came another name, Marcus Rashford. Tall, fast, powerful, and looking for a fresh start after a turbulent season at Manchester United. Rumors suggest Rashford was quietly offered to Barcelona, with intermediaries pushing the move. The deal seemed doable, but his wages were astronomical. Manchester United's asking price? Another hurdle. As of today, Rashford remains on the list, but far from the finish line. And so, with Diaz too expensive and Rashford stuck in limbo, one final name came up. Rafael Leão, the Portuguese sensation. A baller, a game changer, a beast. For 4 straight seasons, he's delivered for AC Milan. Double-digit goals and assists. A mix of raw pace, creative flair, and explosive dribbling. On paper, he looked like the perfect fit for Barcelona. He's only 26, entering his prime. And to make things even more interesting, he's represented by Jorge Mendes, the same agent who has worked closely with Barcelona on numerous deals. The connections were there. Deco reportedly considered the move seriously. On the pitch, Leao was everything Barca lacked on the left. And the fans? Most of them were already photoshopping him in the Blaugrana kit. But then came the bombshell. In an exclusive report from Killmania, it was revealed that Deco personally vetoed the signing of Rafael Leão. And not because of price, not because of tactics, not because of Mendes, but because of attitude. According to sources close to the sporting director, Deco believes that Leao's off-the-field behavior could be damaging to the dressing room. There have been whispers from Milan, stories of late-night distractions, a somewhat relaxed training ethic, and a tendency to drift off mentally during the season. Leao isn't known for scandals, but those around him describe a player who, at times, lives in his own world. A player whose focus isn't always 100% aligned with the team. Deco, a former player himself, knows the importance of unity. He reportedly views Barcelona's current dressing room as near-perfect under Flick. Young stars like Lamine Yamal and Gavi are laser-focused. Veterans like Lewandowski and Ter Stegen are keeping standards high. The last thing Deco wants? An unpredictable personality walking into that environment. Let's be clear, Rafael Leão is not a villain. He's not a toxic player. But he is unconventional. He raps in his spare time. He's a fashion icon. He posts frequently on social media. He's charismatic. He's fun. But for a club like Barcelona, currently rebuilding its identity, every signing matters beyond just the pitch. Think about the recent controversies around Lamine Yamal, the birthday party, the media frenzy. Deco and Flick had to intervene. They don't want a repeat of that with a much older player. Deco reportedly asked himself a simple question. Can we afford to take this risk? The answer?
No.
Let's talk about the man in charge, Hansi Flick. The German tactician has already started to instill discipline and professionalism at the club. He's brought a Bundesliga-style approach to training with intensity,
Professionals.
Players who live and breathe football. That's why Flick has already endorsed players like Count, Christensen, and Yamal as non-negotiables in his project. In that environment, Leao could either be a genius or a grenade. Deco wasn't willing to roll the dice. So where does this leave Barca? Back to the drawing board. Again. The left wing spot remains unsolved. With Nico Williams gone, Diaz too expensive, Leao ruled out, and Rashford still complicated. The Blaugrana are now forced to consider lower-cost options or internal promotions. Names like Rooney Bargi, who just signed, could now be a backup. Even academy players like Tony Rodriguez and others might get preseason minutes to prove their worth. There's also a growing feeling that Deco might delay the left-wing signing until January, unless a bargain pops up in the final weeks of the window. The news of Leao being ruled out sparked a wave of reactions online. Some fans praised Deco's discipline, saying, "We've had enough divas at this club. Protect the dressing room first." Others were less forgiving. "We're turning down elite players for vibes now?" On Twitter, #DecoOut started trending briefly, a familiar sight this summer as frustration grows with the club's inactivity. But amid all the chaos, one thing is clear: Barcelona are trying to build long-term. And Deco's refusal to compromise on character might just be the key to that vision. In another timeline, Rafael Leão could have been tearing it up on the left wing at Camp Nou, feeding balls to Lewandowski, linking up with Yamal, celebrating goals in front of 90,000 fans. But football isn't just about talent. It's about timing, culture, chemistry, and most importantly, trust. Deco made a decision, a tough one. He chose the locker room over the highlight reel, the chemistry over the chaos. And maybe, just maybe, that's what will make Barcelona great again. In football, you can buy talent, but you can't buy harmony. Deco knows that, and in this summer of decisions, he's chosen to protect the soul of the club. The rest will follow. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Barca's transfer saga, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Should Barcelona have signed Leao? Or did Deco make the right call? Let's talk below.